On Leonard's Look, our Mike Leonard focuses on some crazy aspect of life in America. Well, this morning he shares his frustration with a common nuisance most of us grapple with every day.
The most difficult task when writing a story is figuring out how it should open. And that, for openers, opens up a whole Pandora's box, if in fact it can be opened, about whether we should celebrate or curse the new packaging technology that seems to have made our dilemma about openings even worse.
Yeah, I think it's definitely worse.
Andrew Burrows and his colleagues Mark Fisher and Craig Sampson are well qualified to tear into the subject of these new hard-to-open packages because their company, IDEO of Evanston, Illinois, is one of the leading product development firms in the world.
You know, you want to be able to make things bigger and better and don't break so easily. Unfortunately, those same materials are also available to people who design packages.
Good packages if you're talking about keeping things fresh and holding up to the rigors of today's increased shipping distances. Plus,
they have a lot of benefits for merchandising, but they're not thinking about the entire customer experience.
You just can't open it.
You just can't open it.
Which is all well and good when trying to prevent tampering or thievery.
The problem is only 1 in a million or 1 in 1,000 might get stolen or have that problem, but every single one of those gets used by a regular person that has to open it.
Even devices used to open things are now a challenge to open. My cameraman needs a makeshift opener to open his opener.
Take $100, you need a penny to open it up with.
After nearly pulling a muscle on a crouton bag, I set out, with home movie camera in hand, to conduct an informal packaging woes survey, starting with my kindly 85-year-old next-door neighbor.
Would you please go over to the grocery store and get me some Gatorade that opens?
I'd like to, Mrs. Konrad, but my friend Terry is also desperate for help.
Pull it.
As he and his children wrestle to free 2 new dolls.
Dad, I can't open it.
And a toy car.
This thing is screwed down. Try to open it up.
No.
They're yelling at me, and you think I want to be yelled at when I'm trying to give a toy away?
And on it went. Margot with her dog's heartworm pills, Sean with her medicine bottle cotton ball, Peggy with her spaghetti sauce, Karen with her lock, Jim with his spray paint.
Pull up, insert, screwdriver.
And Alice with her video cassette.
I have no idea why they have to seal these things the way they seal them.
I suggested using one of those pliers, but she couldn't get them out. So I then suggested cutting the plier package with that knife, but she couldn't get the knife out to cut the plier package. So I suggested drilling the knife out of its package, so she could cut the pliers out of their package, but she couldn't get the rubber tag off the end of the drill bit to get the knife out to get the pliers out. Meanwhile, back at Mrs. Konrad's house,
it isn't even budging.
As for Terry's toy situation,
it's stitched into the box. The hat? The hat.
It wasn't always that way. Kids used to be able to get to their presents, and we used to be able to get to our cereal.
Right out of the box, take a handful out, pop them into your mouth, and everyone shout.
The future, they promised, would even get easier. If a chimp can't open a milk carton, then
Bring me the chimp.
And while you're at it, bring Terry and his children some relief from their frustration. Maybe a bag of candy would do the trick.
This is unbelievable. I'm gonna be sore tomorrow.
And Mrs. Konrad, how are you doing?
Now look at my teeth. They cost a lot of money.
And if you grind them down, they're worthless these days. For today, Mike Leonard, NBC News, Winnetka, Illinois.
I enjoyed that.
Like Mrs.
I
Conrad.
so identify with that.
You wouldn't want to get Mrs.
Don't
Conrad
get in
cross
her
at
way.
you, would
No.
you?
But how
Mike
many
is very
times?
nice to her.
Exactly. I mean, CDs are really hard to open. Those are always frustrating. Christmas morning is just awful because you can't open things.
The ones he had in there, the molded plastic ones, they're kind of shrunk around the screwdrivers. They are a killer.
That's why you keep a blowtorch around.
Actually, a pair of scissors comes in really handy with those bags of M&Ms.
We are back with much more on Today right after these messages.